Welcome to Star Recapped. Today, let's dive into a movie called Zoo that's part comedy, drama, and horror. But watch out, spoilers are coming your way. It's a gloomy afternoon, and John walks in the door after a long day at work. He's excited to see his wife, Karen, who's busy cooking in the kitchen. But when he says hi, she barely responds and seems distant. Later that night, they try to connect by watching a movie together. John makes an effort to chat, but Karen's still distant. Just when he's about to leave the room, she stops him, saying she has something to say. But what comes out is totally unexpected and irrelevant to the moment. The next day, John gets up and starts getting ready for work. He goes to the bathroom and looks in the mirror. Suddenly, there's a big crash and a hole appears in the ceiling. John looks up and sees fighter jets flying past. He's curious about what's going on, so he decides to go out and check. But just as he's about to leave, Karen tries to talk to him about something important. John, totally focused on satisfying his curiosity, ignores her and heads out. Little does he know, Karen wants to talk about getting a divorcee. Outside, John is startled to see an airplane has crashed into a building nearby. A guy nearby mentions it reminds him of something called 9/11, but John has no idea what that is. Then, something terrifying happens right in front of them, and John hurries back home. He tells Karen that there are people downstairs acting really strange. Karen's confused, so she looks out the window and sees two people attacking someone. It's like a nightmare unfolding before their eyes. Now, they've got to figure out how to stay safe until help comes. Karen and John take stock of their food and supplies and realize they only have enough for a couple of days. So, they decide to go to their neighbors' houses to get more. John goes out first, agreeing that Karen will go next time. When John comes back, he tells Karen that the Andersons left their door unlocked. Karen's intrigued, so she gets ready to go and check it out. She comes back with some wine bottles and encourages John to go and get their neighbor's TV. Later that night, they sit down to watch the news on their newly acquired TV. The reports warn them to steer clear of the infected and to mark an X on their windows for rescue teams to find them. The next morning, John wakes up to find Karen back from her looting trip. She seems to have gone a bit overboard and even grabbed a dress along with the supplies. Later, John thinks about what they should do if infected people try to get into their building. Karen says they'll have to defend themselves, so they both get ready by preparing tools and weapons to fight off any potential attacks. That night, Karen hears a noise outside their door and calls John over. They think it might be the rescue team, so they open the door quickly, but instead they're faced with an infected person trying to bite them. Thankfully, they fight it off and stay safe. Feeling stressed after the scare, John mentions how he'd love to smoke. Hearing him, Karen grabs some cigarettes from the cupboard. Curious, John asks what else she has in there. Karen surprises him with some illegal stimulants, which she quickly snorts. Despite John's initial reluctance, he gives in and tries it too. Later, Karen proudly shows off her pistol and more stimulants. The next day, Karen hears a gunshot and rushes to the kitchen. She finds John playing with the gun, accidentally shooting a pot that belonged to Karen's mother. Furious, Karen takes the gun away and goes to shower. Later that day, they put the broken pot pieces in their doorway to show they're inside and go about their routine, working out and getting their weapons ready. But they take breaks to snort some stimulants. During one break, they hear a noise at the door again, like someone's trying to get in. John grabs a knife and Karen takes a hammer just in case. They cautiously open the door and find their neighbors, Emily and Leo, hoping to take shelter with them. Karen doesn't want to let them in, but John insists, so they welcome Emily and Leo into their home. Once they settle in the living room, Leo explains that they got trapped in the laundry room after the crash, and when they finally got out, infected people were already in the building. Luckily, they found the broken pot on Karen and John's doorstep, so they knew it was safe to come in. As they chat, their stomachs rumble, and Emily and Leo politely ask for some food. Karen agrees, but as she and John head to the kitchen, she starts arguing that Leo and Emily can't stay. Back in the living room, Emily starts speaking negatively about Karen, mentioning how she acted a bit crazy after her miscarriage. It's clear there's tension between them. After finishing their meal, Emily notices a dress on a nearby chair, remarking that she has the same one at home. Leo adds that they have the same TV too. Karen and John share an awkward glance upon hearing this. Later, they all have a few drinks and agree to get some rest for the night. When Emily asks where they should sleep, Karen suggests they take the floor and grab some cushions. Even though Emily feels offended, she and Leo settle down on the floor. In the middle of the night, Karen decides to annoy her neighbor even more. She starts making loud moaning noises and pretends to have a wild time with John. Feeling threatened, Emily joins in by making loud noises too, but Karen doesn't stop there. She tells John to slap her from behind, and it's so loud that Emily has to give up and accept defeat. The next morning, the four of them have breakfast, and Karen suggests the other couple help with organizing and tidying up. This sets Emily off, and she tells her husband they need to eliminate the threats. Later, Karen and John fall asleep on the couch, and the other couple plans to stab them with a knife. But their plan has failed when Karen wakes up and offers to bake them cookies. Unknown to the rescuers, Karen is aware of their deadly intentions, so she adds a secret ingredient to the cookies, amphetamines. She adds 2 tablespoons of it, causing Leo and Emily to go into shock and die. Feeling guilty about what they've done, Karen and John take some stimulants to cope with the stress. Suddenly, they hear a strange noise from the living room and find Leo alive again. But this time, he seems like one of the infected, so Karen shoots him with a pistol. Just as they think it's over, Emily jumps up from the couch and gets shot too. Later that night, John and Karen drag the bodies out of the house and take some sedatives before bed. Unfortunately, they're too knocked out to notice the rescue team's request to turn on their lights. This causes them to miss their chance to escape. The next day, they enjoy a peaceful moment in the bathtub. Karen shares her desire to adopt a child if they survive, and John agrees. They take turns expressing their love for each other. Later that night, John surprises Karen with an indoor date. They pretend to be strangers, getting to know each other, and as the evening goes on, things become more intimate, leading to them making love. However, their moment is interrupted by a knock on the door. Karen rushes to open it, but John tries to stop her, realizing it's too late. Suddenly, 3 men come into their home demanding valuable items, but Karen and John don't have anything valuable to give. The leader orders his men to attack John while he goes after Karen. Karen feels helpless at first, but she throws flour into the man's face and stabs him in the neck with a knife. As the other 2 men enter the room, John shoots them both, ending the threat. Immediately, John and Karen dispose of the bodies. Later that night, they hear helicopters, but the rescue team doesn't spot them. They decide to make a run for it through the crowd of infected people the following day. The following day, they put their plan into action, but they retreat to their house when they realize there are more infected downstairs than they expected. To make things worse, Karen gets bitten on the leg, and it's only a matter of time before she becomes infected too. John assures Karen that there's likely a pharmaceutical company working on vaccines. This comforts her, so they go to bed. In the middle of the night, Karen has a nightmare about losing control to the virus. She decides to leave before it's too late, but John stops her from going. He then offers her a bit of his blood, hoping it will help her hold on until help arrives. Karen hesitates at first, but John insists it's his decision to make. Reluctantly, she agrees to take it. The next day, Karen and John look out the window and realize they might be the last ones left in the city. Knowing it might be her last day, John shares all his plans for the future with Karen. He talks about how he imagines everything playing out, including the rescue team arriving the next day and Karen receiving a vaccine with a side effect that would allow her to have a child. John openly expresses his desire to grow old with her, and Karen shares the same sentiment. They both cry as they talk. Karen says she needs to take a bath and goes. In the bathroom, she wants to end her life, but changes her mind when John brings her some of his blood. Karen knows she's almost fully sick, so she decides to have a special night with John, making love for the last time. The next morning, John wakes up alone in bed and finds a note from Karen in the bathroom. In the note, she expresses her love for him and reflects on their perfect life together. She admits that in her darkest moments, the hunger became too much to bear. She asks John to end her suffering and informs him that he can find her in the nursery. With a heavy heart, John makes his way to the nursery and discovers that Karen has chained herself up. Sadly, she's fully infected now, beyond saving. Moments later, John takes the pistol and points it at his wife's head. Before he can pull the trigger, Karen looks at him with her lifeless eyes, and he apologizes for what he's about to do. Suddenly, the door is smashed open, and it's the rescue team. They search the place for survivors and eventually find the nursery. To their shock, they discover Karen and John both infected and chained to the wall. They're confused why Karen and John's hands are taped together. The commander just says in disbelief, "It's love." Moments later, the rescuers make the grim decision to shoot them both. In the end, John couldn't bring himself to kill the love of his life, so he chose to join her in her misery. Subscribe for more recaps and hit the like button. Thanks for watching.